With it. That's good timing, just as we get that awful whistling sound. So we've already done this with the camera, but Pip didn't like it, so we've got to do it again. So
Yes.
it's the 23rd of September, 1:45 in the afternoon. We've just got on this Rail Air bus from Reading to Heathrow, which is step 2 of our trip to Canada. Having driven up to Reading last night and stayed with Pip's brother Robbie and his lovely wife Sue.
So we're going on a 3-week voyage, not voyage, what's the word I'm looking for? Road trip, I guess. Road trip?
3-week road trip in the east of Canada.
From Toronto heading east, so
It's a really good idea to be doing this to camera when we're being thrown all over the bus.
As long as we get there safely, we'll see you for the next leg.
I'm not sure we're going to get off this bus safely. Our 21-day adventure in eastern Canada involved several cars, a train and a ferry. We would cover over 2,000 miles through 5 provinces and drive nearly 1,800 ourselves. This will be the first vlog of many, and it takes us up to our visit to Ottawa, the nation's capital. Stay tuned for the rest of the journey. Hope you enjoy. On our first full day, we catch a GO train from Missisauga into the centre of Toronto to visit the Toronto Islands. Jack Layton was a well-known unionist within Canada, and the ferry terminal to the islands at Toronto are named after him. He was also known to ride a tandem, by all accounts. The Toronto Islands are a chain of 15 small islands situated in Lake Ontario. Most of the islands are connected by paths and bridges, and being effectively in the heart of the city, they make a really welcome break from the concrete jungle that is Toronto. We boarded a ferry to the centre island. The crossing was no more than 15 minutes and we were soon docking on Centre Island. It really was a beautiful place, and as there were so few visitors this day, it almost felt like we had the place to ourselves at times. Standing on the pier on Centre Island, you just get a feel for how enormous Lake Ontario is, and just over that horizon is the USA. The sign above our heads here tells you just how far away Halifax is, our final destination.
Imagine we could get all the way over the top, and then we jump.
What, launch myself off?
Yep, from that you get to the highest point, and then you let go.
If I was 20 years younger, I might try and launch myself off, but no.
Earlier in the day, the cloud cover was so low it was impossible to see the top of the CN Tower, but as we began our return journey, it popped into sight. All good things must come to an end, and after a couple of days we had to say goodbye to the lovely Catherine and her husband Greg. Next stop, Kingston, Ontario. Kingston is the home of Pip's best friend in the world, Julie, who very kindly came to Missisauga and picked us up and brought us back to her house before driving us on to Ottawa. Although we were only able to spend a few days with Julie on this trip, it was great to catch up with her, and her generosity as always was overflowing. Thank you, Julie. That night we enjoyed a lovely home-cooked meal with Julie, her son Kieran and his girlfriend Jaden. We also met Julie's dog, Genesis, named after her favourite band. Julie wasn't the only old friend that we were able to catch up with on this trip. On the way to Ottawa, we all dropped in to the lovely house of Karen in North Gower. Like Julie, Pip has known Karen since the early 80s. How many people do you know who have a sauna in their kitchen? Karen is well advanced in making plans to move to the UK, and lined up outside on the property is all the farm equipment that she's going to have to sell before making that move. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit this skidoo into my suitcase. Many of you will know that I wrote a book all about our adventure on Frog in a Bucket called A Year on the Frog. Pip's friend Karen had read the book and had given me a copy of I Think We Should Go Camping by Janet Jensen. Janet's book was all about the trials and tribulations of buying and then using an RV in North America. It was a fun read, and it was really, really great to finally meet Janet at Karen's when we had lunch. I have to say, Janet was even funnier in person. You won't be surprised that the first thing we sought out was a canal. The Rideau Canal, and I have been told to pronounce it that way, is named after the Rideau River, which in turn was named after the Rideau Falls. Rideau is French for curtain. The name was chosen because where the Rideau River enters the Ottawa River, there were waterfalls that looked just like a curtain of water. The canal was built effectively to link Lake Ontario to the Ottawa River. It's got 46 locks and it raises 83 metres heading upstream. These are the first of those locks, and you can see the Ottawa River in the distance. Here I am standing on the gate of the very bottom lock in Ottawa, and as I swing round, you'll see the huge expanse of the Ottawa River.
And well done for not falling in.
Julie is a keen walker and has her own business setting trails in the Canadian countryside. One of Julie's proudest achievements is completing the 240-mile Rideau Trail. It starts near her home in Kingston and finishes at this very spot in Ottawa. This statue commemorates the vital contribution of the native Canadians and Indigenous peoples to the war in 1812 between America and Great Britain. In one corner of the park we find a memorial to William Lyon Mackenzie, who was Prime Minister for 22 years and saw Canada through the Second World War. Just inside the Queen's Gate of the Parliament building is the Centennial Flame. The perpetual flame at its centre was first lit on the 1st of January 1967, commemorates the creation of the Canadian Confederation, and its 13 sides represent the territories and provinces of Canada. A stark reminder that we were in Canada. And if any more proof were needed, how about a groundhog? All across Canada you will find a series of railway hotels. Each of them is a local and national landmark. The one in Ottawa is called the Chateau Laurier. It was opened in 1912 and was built by the Grand Trunk Railway. The people of Canada are very keen to recognise and celebrate their Indigenous heritage.
Truth and Reconciliation Day is a national day to honour First Nations and Inuit children who both survived and were lost to the residential school system. This day of reflection is on September the 30th, and people are encouraged to wear orange shirts to show their support.
As we walked through Confederation Park, we came across the National Aboriginal Veterans Monument. The statue commemorates the contributions of all Aboriginal peoples in war and peacekeeping operations from World War I to present. It was designed by Lloyd Pinney of the Pipikissis First Nation in Saskatchewan, Canada. Their father took part in the D-Day landings in World War II. And talking of musicians, Oscar Peterson was born on August 15, 1925 in Montreal, Quebec, and he died on December 23, 2007 in Missisauga, where we started our journey. Here he and Pip discuss the finer points of jazz. On Plaza Bridge we find the temporary home of one of the most important bronze installations in Ottawa. The Women Are Persons monument honours the famous five. That's Irene Palby, Louise McKinney, Nenny McClung, Emily Murphy and Henrietta Muir Edwards. These amazing women challenged a 1928 ruling by the Supreme Court of Canada that women could not be appointed to the Senate. The case was finally decided by the Privy Council in the UK, who reversed the earlier Supreme Court decision. The monument, which was created by artist Barbara Patterson, shows the women enjoying a tea party with Nenny McClung holding a newspaper that proclaims women are persons. When work at Parliament Hill is completed, it will be relocated to its original position. We spent the rest of the afternoon shopping in the nearby Bywood Market.
I'm godmother to Julie's daughter Christina, and I haven't seen her since she was about 3 years old. It was so lovely to get together with her and to meet her lovely boyfriend Dan. We had some very yummy food and a wonderful evening.
We are sat outside of a very lovely tavern in Ottawa, and the Canada Roses match has just started on the telly. Sorry, I'm going to miss the action.
We might have to cheer quite quietly if we win. Let's hope so.
It was great that Julie and Christina were able to join us for the game, and a bite to eat. One of the benefits of visiting this part of Canada was that Pip was able to catch up with friends that she hadn't seen for a very long time. Pip knew Ken Too Tall Jones and his wife Alison in the 1980s, and she hasn't seen them since. Ken is 6'7", hence the name. Following a fantastic Roses victory, we go shopping once again. Our time in Ottawa ended with a catch-up with some more old friends, Louise and Brett. On Sunday the 28th of September, our time in Ottawa came to an end and we headed for Montreal. Join us next time as the journey continues. Join us next time as we venture into the French part of Canada.